If you could pick one Starburst to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be? The pink one, right? Well, Mars has recently come out with a package that only sells the pink Starburst. Pretty convenient, huh? No longer do you have to trudge through the yellows, the oranges, or even sometimes the reds to get to that delicious pink Starburst. This analogy can be representative of how life works today. In this age, we have made things so simplified and so easy for ourselves that we no longer have to feel that challenge. We no longer have to think as hard because we have Google. This is representative even more so in our school. We have become so oversimplified in how we do things, we hardly need to think. And this is terrifying because when we get to college, if we're not ready, life is going to throw a bunch of bricks at us. So it is important that we take this chance to look at how we do things in our school and try to challenge ourselves to accept these difficulties. So today we will address the problems behind oversimplification, the causes behind this education apathy, and finally come up with solutions to help eradicate this. In our school, when we see things that are too challenging, we try to go the easy way. And in doing this, we become less creative with our projects, and we are too trustworthy with what we see online. If we see Wikipedia, our first instinct is to think, all right, sounds good, put that on a project. However, Philip S. Powell states in his November 15, 2018 article that we have become so trustworthy with what we see online that we are less likely to live with ambiguity and paradox. Instead of questioning what we read and what we see, we trust it automatically because we see it online. We've heard it before, don't trust everything you read online, and in this case, it is most imperative that we understand. So when we do this in schools, when we're working on projects with classmates, instead of getting in-depth knowledge and really using our brain to understand something more complex, we have shallow knowledge that we use. Our creativity is lacking because all we're doing is surface-level research. Sean Cavanaugh writes in his article, Students Ill Prepared for College, ACT Warns, that students going into college face two major problems. Either they don't take enough rigorous classes in high school to prepare them for college, or the rigorous classes they are taking have been dumbed down. He also states that 78% of these students are not ready for college courses in algebra, biology, and even English. This is terrifying because high school is supposed to prepare us for college, yet we are lacking in that. We aren't ready for life. So it's important that we address these problems so that we know what to do when we are out on our own. So now that we addressed the problem, let's move on to the stigma behind challenge. In a recent television segment, Ellen DeGeneres spoke out on the issue behind a new educational tool, an abridged version of the ABC song. The writers of this song stated that children were having a hard time distinguishing which letter was which when the part went LMNOP. They thought it was all one letter, so that when they began to start understanding how to read and sound out words, they had no idea what they were doing. So the writers of this song tried to slow down that part to where it goes LMNOP. And with doing so, you slow down the rest of the song so that it's rhythmically correct. However, by doing so, we are eradicating the basic challenges that we are faced when we're so young. By learning how to overcome obstacles and learning challenges like this, we are prepared in high school when we have to do derivatives or hard biology. However, when we take this away, we're taught at an early age to just accept the easy way, ask for more help than we really need, and not understand what to do when we do face challenges. Michael Oliveira goes on to state in his article, The Dangers of Oversimplification, that if we oversimplify everything in our lives, we become too attached to what gives us that oversimplification. In this case, technology. Now in early schools, such as elementary schools, we are more open to technology and computers. Instead of learning how to handwrite, it's more, we're going to write for 5 minutes, type for the rest of the class. We are learning more technology skills instead of talents that we need for basic human interactions that have become now obsolete. So with this, that also leads to that challenge stigma when we grow up. We're having a harder time writing our names because we don't know cursive, because we were stopped being taught that because of computers We didn't know spelling because we had Google. Google fixes everything with those red squiggle marks. It is important that we recognize these causes so that we can fix the problems that we're facing now later on. And finally, now that we have addressed the problems and the causes, it's time to come to some solutions. There are two solutions to this problem, and while this problem may seem very vague, it's also not a lot of people want to fix it. When you have everything so easy, why do you want to make it harder on yourself? That's the way humanity works. We've devised so many innovations and so much technology to where we make life so simple for ourselves that we don't even have to think anymore. However, it is imperative that we take these problems and these easy steps that we made for ourselves and kind of rewire them to where we are facing challenges so that our brain is still being worked. So two solutions to this would be either to embrace technology and basic human skills. Work hand in hand with each other rather than just focusing on new age technology skills. And the other option would be to embrace challenge. So for the first solution, instead of having classes where they're mostly focused on the computer, maybe the first half class computer, other half whiteboards, pen and paper, working on these rudimentary skills. Now for the second solution, it may seem a little more challenging, just for the fact that we can say that we're embracing difficulty when we're not really doing anything at all. So it is important that we look at the root of this problem, the teachers. We are motivated by one thing in our lives, money. America is fueled on capitalism. So if we can increase teachers' pay wages, they will be more motivated to come to work, more motivated to get involved in the students' academic lives to push them to each student so that they can be successful. It is important that we address these issues so that the teachers are more motivated to help us so that we are more motivated to help our own futures. Today I have covered the problem, the cause, and the solutions behind oversimplification in our world today. Once we get out of high school, we will be solely dependent on ourselves. If we do not recognize this and try to work harder and push ourselves to be successful in our own futures, our futures won't be as bright as what our parents tell it to be. Whenever I go to the store, I always see those bags of pink Starbursts. A part of me wants to grab one really bad, but another part wonders if they'll ever be as sweet. Thank you.